In this video, we will explain the most important considerations for effectively carrying out the process of thawing food. Let's start by saying that when thawing food, it is recommended to do so slowly and at a cold temperature. The safest method is to place the product in refrigeration within an approximate range of 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, 32 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, with sufficient time in advance. For example, in the case of large cuts of meat or whole poultry, this process can take 12 to 24 hours, depending on the size and thickness of the product. For whole fish, shellfish, or medium-sized fillets, the time is usually shorter, although it will always depend on the thickness and the initial level of freezing. The main advantage of this method is that the entire food remains outside the danger zone, which refers to temperatures above 4 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, a range in which bacteria can multiply rapidly. Keeping the temperature low throughout the process allows for control of microbial growth and at the same time better preservation of organoleptic properties, such as color, texture, and flavor. In addition, this procedure helps maintain nutritional value as it prevents excessive loss of water-soluble vitamins and minerals, which tend to leach out along with juices if thawing is not controlled. There are other alternative thawing methods, such as using cold water baths, approximately 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, with the food sealed in airtight bags, which speeds up the process without directly exposing the product to water and minimizes cross-contamination. For this method, it is advisable to change the water every 30 minutes in order to maintain a stable temperature and prevent the food from reaching risky zones. Another option is using the microwave. However, in this case, the food must be cooked immediately afterward, since some areas may reach temperatures above 10 degrees Celsius while others are still frozen, creating favorable conditions for bacterial growth. At this point, it is important to emphasize that the speed of thawing directly influences the moisture and juiciness of the food. When the process is carried out slowly and in cold conditions, the water released from the internal ice has time to be reabsorbed by the proteins, which helps retain natural juices and maintain a firm, juicy texture. In contrast, if thawing occurs quickly and uncontrollably, the water tends to escape outward instead of reintegrating into the tissue structure, resulting in greater moisture loss. The result is a drier product with weakened fibers and lower quality when cooked. This phenomenon is especially noticeable in red meat, chicken, and fish, which show more exudate or drip loss when thawed improperly. In practice, overly rapid or uncontrolled thawing, such as leaving food on the table at room temperature, 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, is a common mistake that compromises food safety. In this scenario, the edges of the food reach high temperatures while the inside remains frozen, causing a thermal imbalance. This activates microorganisms on the surface, deteriorating its final quality. Furthermore, it is important to keep in mind that every time food goes through repeated freezing and thawing cycles, protein degradation accelerates, natural juices are lost, and the fiber structure is damaged, resulting in a less juicy product with poorer texture when cooked. Greater fat oxidation can also occur, which leads to rancid flavors and reduces the product's shelf life. For this reason, a good practice is to organize food into small portions before freezing, so that it can thaw more evenly and in less time, avoiding the need to refreeze what is not used.